Man, oh man. Where do I begin? So my cousin, Apple, she has a new podcast called Moms After Hours, and we had a amazing conversation. Her, Sheila, my brother, their friend, and then also my big sister. And I noticed that the reason why there's a disconnect from black men and black women, I'm gonna tell you the disconnect. When young black women are in those neighborhoods and our neighborhoods and our communities, they tend to go, generally speaking now, listen to my words carefully, they'll tend to go to the hyper masculine men, the drug dealers, the pimps, the players. They have the money, they have the status, they have all those things because women love status, right? And women want to make sure that this guy could afford her and her offspring. So the guys that were, let's say, nerds or going to private school or going to church, maybe they weren't looked at as attractive, you know what I'm saying, during that time. As the black woman got older, possibly she is a single mom or has kids now, she tends to look back at the guys that's in her friend zone, right? The nice guys now, the good guys, the guys that got a career, 401k, all this good stuff. But those guys tend to not want the black woman now. Their value has gone down, and that could be for any woman, not just black women. Once you have a child, once you have certain experiences as a woman, a man's perspective is very different. He's gonna look at you as like, I could get a younger girl who might not have gone through what you've gone through, who's scorned and dealt with that stuff, and who doesn't have a child. You know what I mean? I want to create my own bloodline. So that's what a lot of the times that's what happens. And I mentioned this, like what Mike Jones says, back then you didn't want me, now I'm hot, you're all on me. Now you want me, sis. You know what I mean? So the black woman feels hurt. Why doesn't my black king want me now? Right? I've been through stuff. Why he's going with Becky? Why is he going with this Asian woman, this Latina woman? Why not me? That's my race. So she's hurt by it. Right? And the black man is like, I'm hurt too. Back then you want to deal with me. So I went to different colleges. I dealt with other women who are more traditional, who's not as independent and masculine. So we're both hurt. We're both hurt in ways. You know what I mean? So our perspective changes as we get older. But it's like, as a black woman gets older, goes through some stuff, she starts to realize this is not what I want. As a black man who's hurt in the beginning, realize I gotta create my value so I can be more attractive, and then we just miss each other. So this is what I'm saying. Date who you want to date, love who you want to love. But no one is gonna understand you, black king, more than a black woman, bro. We gotta remember that. Because I was one of those guys. I was the guy going to private school, and black women didn't like me because I was hyper masculine. Not all black women, generally speaking. I wasn't hyper masculine. But I'm saying that looking backwards and having this convo, as black men, we have to understand, right? We still are the leader in our communities, right? We still are. And we have to be a little bit more patient with our black women. That's the problem with us too. We got to be more patient. So what? Some of these black women didn't like us because we weren't hyper masculine. So what? Get over it. You know what I mean? You need to have those open conversations in your community. If you feel a certain way about that black female, express that. You know what I mean? Like, we should have conversations in our communities about this, because there's a lot of men who are not understanding. A lot of black men were not understanding enough. You know what I mean? You got to remember, black women were taught to be independent. You don't need a man. You got to be strong. So that's masculine traits. So by nature, all those years, she's going to be a bit more masculine. So it's going to take time. We all need to heal as a community. So just going, overseas to find a more feminine woman maybe solve your issue. But we also have a lot of women here in this community in America that are willing to change, willing to learn. And those are the black women who are willing to change, willing to adapt, and also have an open communication with the black man. That's the ones we need to actually pay attention to. If there's going to be also black women, they're gonna say what they want to say. They don't want to listen. They're not going to be cooperative. Then you leave them alone. But for those black women who actually sees that there's an issue, like how I'm discovering as a black man at 34, we need to be more patient with those black women and not necessarily seek to go overseas or go to other communities. You know what I mean? Because no one is going to understand us more than a black woman. The first woman we fall in love with is who? Our mothers, a black woman. So you got to remember that, bro. So that's all I wanted to say for my black men out there. We got to be a little bit more patient with our sisters and more understanding, because it's important. It really is. All right. One love to everybody. This is my second video of the day. I shot a video at 3 in the morning, but I just wanted to say that. And let's keep having these conversations, because we all need to heal as a community. Post-traumatic slave syndrome is a real thing. Look it up. Post-traumatic slave syndrome is a real thing. We haven't healed as a people. You know what I mean? Anyway, love y'all. Peace.